increase in the next years. Okay, and we can see that also in our country. No, most of our population, most of our people in the country are farmers. Okay, so people living in the countryside comprise considerably more than half the population of different nations of the world. That's right. Okay, and as I mentioned earlier, they compose the poorest people. Okay, usually they are found in the rural areas, and we call them as they usually make use of the traditional economy, and because of that, they are engaged in what you call here now the subsistence agriculture. When we say subsistence agriculture, I mentioned this last time that the harvest or the produce of the farmers are only enough for their family. Okay, for their family sustenance. Okay, there are no extra for sale or for to be offered in the market. Unlike in other countries that they farm because that's their source of income. No, why? Because they have vast areas. I mean, farmlands as compared to our country. Usually, our farmers have a small area to farm, and because of that, much of their desire to also have the source of income, no, it becomes the subsistence. However, today, what do you observe in our farmers? We observe today, a very common observation is that they also make use of it as their source of income because what they plant are, ano, sa mga farmers natin, di ba, they usually plant, yellow corn, di ba? Doon sa mga nagtatanim ng mga corn, yellow corn na siya because ready for sale, di ba? Because they will not consume yellow corn, hindi siya pangkain, di ba? So they produce yellow corn for the capital good of another organization or another manufacturing firm. Okay, pwedeng convert nila yun as feeds or they export that. No? Yung mga buyers, they bring that to other places and it becomes their capital goods. Okay, all right. So this is how the rural and the urban population looks like. Okay, so up to 2030, we are here now in the 2024. Okay, wait lang ha. May I just answer my phone?
Nakasabit dyan sa cellophane, Jay.
Okay, so I'm sorry for that. Let's continue. Hello. Okay.
Hello, ma'am.
If you have something to share, you just just interrupt me, no? Or I'll just ask you later to share also your points. Okay. So we know that generally the agriculture is intended for what? For the production of food, right? Food. Okay. So because of that, in my screen, you see here the projections and at the same time the great challenge that might had happened, that will happen, that might no be happening on the year 2050. This is just a projection by economists. Okay. So from today, 2024 to 2050. Okay. So there's a projection here that BN is billion. No? So there will be there's a projection, okay, that by the year 2050, we will be facing this, that 70% of the population will already be living in the cities. And because of that, there will be 100% more food. Why? Because of, before I will give mine, no, I listen to you. Why do you think that this projection happens? Like more will be already moving to the city. And this is happening now to our place, right? Do you observe that? Hello. Sheila May, sila po. Sheila May, can you give your insight? Do you agree with this? Huh? Hello?
Hello, ma'am.
Nakikita mo yung screen ka?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, yes.
So, ma'am, tinatanong niyo po ako kung nag-agree po ako. Ako, ma'am,
Ano na?
depend. Kasi, ma'am, ano po, di ba po, ma'am, ano lang to, kumbaga, prediction.
Oo.
So, kasi pag prediction, kasi hindi natin masasabi kung mangyayari ba siya o mangyayari pwedeng hindi. Get po, ma'am, kaya, kumbaga, hindi ko po masasabi kung mag-agree po ako dito, ma'am, sa nakalagay na at katulad nito, mga 100%. So, sabi mo,
But is this possible?
possible.
Okay. Okay, so thank you, Ms. Delabo. Maybe I listen to Jovert. Jovert,
Hello, ma'am. Good morning po.
any insight?
I think that would be possible, ma'am, that
Yeah.
by 2050 there would be more people living in the cities,
That's right.
and because of several factors, ma'am. Even now, I think we have the rapid growth of rural to urban migration,
Yeah.
where many people are choosing to stay in urban areas, I should say, because of many reasons.
That's right. And what could be the
I think
the risk? Hello? Nawawala ka?
Are opportunities in
Oo.
wait, ma'am, labas po. Okay, because whether we like it or not, ma'am, there are more opportunities in the cities or in the urban areas than
Yes.
in rural areas, and
Correct.
because of this reality, I think it encouraged more people to migrate in urban areas, ma'am. For example, here in Tugigaraw, kapag titingnan natin, in fact, in Tugigaraw, in the year 1990, nasa more than, less than, I should say, 90,000 lang yung population natin. But because of its booming, because of Tugigaraw is considered to be a booming city, as of 2015, I do not have the data kasi ng 2023 pa, ma'am, according to PSA, as of 2015, nasa more than 150,000 na tao natin, ma'am. So, what more in the year 2050
Correct.
that will be more driven by technology and development among our cities, ma'am. So, yun po, ma'am.
That's right. And if you notice, Tugigaraw, no, has a lot now of what was now business establishments. If you notice, those agricultural lands were already converted as business areas. Example, yung 'di ba, yung SM City ngayon, ano yan, agricultural land dati yon, right? Na-convert na siya as a business site. Okay? So this projection is possible to happen because as I agree to what Mr. Jovert said, no, na there is already migration from the rural because of to the urban. Kasi sa rural usually very slim ang opportunity doon ng mga tao. So most of our graduates or of our students also prefer to study in the city, right? Kasi kung sa rural, limited yung mga courses ng offers sa mga rural areas. So they also choose to study in cities because usually in the city there are courses that are not offered in the rural areas, and because of that this possibly increase the population. And aside from that, the 100% more food, the analogy is, syempre kung magmamigrate na yung mga tao from rural to urban, dadami ang tao sa urban. But what happened to the what goes now to the agricultural land in the cities? Paano dadami ang food as projected here? Of course, because of the export and the import transactions or other places, they will also transport their products to the cities because we know that in the city there are a lot of opportunities and it's usually a business site. It's here where different products of different places or different countries and different provinces are brought in the city. And here in Tigigaraw, we experienced that already. Okay. Even without getting the exact statistics of the people in the population of Tigigaraw, we see, no, observation natin yung, the experience of traffic a day or very, tawag natin, more transportation is a manifestation that the population in Tigigaraw is increasing. So this projection has the possibility to happen. So what now are we going to do? Okay, all right. So therefore, the concern actually in the rural areas is survival. That's right. No, that's what. Going back to my previous slide, I mentioned earlier that the farmers produce product for their subsistence, for their survival. Kaya ang tawag natin ay subsistence economy. Okay? And says here that because of that, what happened is they are sometimes bypassed or their progress is slow. Okay? Another projection is more than 800 million of these people do not have enough food to meet their basic nutritional needs. Do you agree with this? Is this happening? Do you observe this in your own localities? Do you agree? Most of the farmers do not really get the nutrition of this body. Why are we discussing all this? Remember our first topic before on economic development, that education is also contributory to the economic development of a country. Okay. And if the people are not able to have the good nutrition, of course, it will affect their brains, no? Their intellectual capacity. Okay, so it will down now to their poor performance in their education. Okay, so if development is to take place and become self-sustaining, it will have to start in the rural areas in general. Okay, particularly now on the agricultural sector, because we know that these farmers are the providers of the food. Okay, so in the process of development, the agricultural sector and the rural economy must play an indispensable role in any overall strategy of economic progress. So if they want development, therefore there should be a cooperation between the agricultural sector and the rural economy. Okay, so whose function is this? Again, the government, the leaders. Okay. Okay, so to understand further, we have to discuss here the different systems that are used in agriculture. Okay, so it's a useful view. Okay, that agricultural system, there's a framework of the input and output. What does this mean? So so that the input, we have farmers, no? Okay, their inputs usually are their labor. These are the inputs, no, fertilizer, etc. No, and then their output is the mature crops. Okay, and from here, it becomes their source of income. Okay, so this is just a picture. You see my next slide? Hello?
Yes, yes.
So,
Yes, ma'am.
nakaka-connect ba kayo rito? This happens in other countries, but we also have here. Okay? There is oversupply of agricultural products here, right? You see it? No? And it will redound now to the law of supply and demand. Okay? The more products offered in the market, okay, the tendency is the price of the product might decrease. Okay. Now, what about there is surplus, like here, kung sobra-sobra, so this will happen. Okay, this will happen. Okay, so it will be processed. Okay, can you follow? Nalalagay sa warehouse, and then it will be processed by another place. That's on the rural. Okay, they have more than enough. In the urban, ganito naman. Kung you see the difference, ito ay nasa open lang siya, di ba? Open area. Can you follow me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. But in the rural, in the urban, okay, can you give me your comment on this picture? Can you see my screen?
Yes, ma'am. Mas
What is your observation there? Any comment?
mas organized po.
Mas organized. What else? What
And then,
else? I don't know. I cannot see. I am in the other window. Hindi ko nakikita. So, I just mention your name when you recite. Ah? Yes,
Lagi
hello?
po, ma'am.
Ano po?
Jean Lagi po, ma'am.
Okay, go, Miss Lagi.
The products is organized and well sorted, ma'am.
Well sorted. What else? Christian.
Ma'am, mas mahal pang mga binebenta dyan.
Pumunta ka na sa price talaga, ah. Okay, so well organized and then properly kept, di ba? Okay. And that pressure na kaagad. Okay, of course, because syempre, one of the input now is the place, no? Di ba? One of the costs, I should say, that you have to consider in determining the price is the place. The place where these products are now kept. Compared here kanina, na dyan lang siya. Okay? Although organized naman ito, kanya lang, it's in open area. Okay? So there's a risk here na pollution, okay, pwedeng maka-contaminate, di ba, yung mga products na bibilhin mo. And like here, it's already kept in a good place. Okay? Okay. So of course, the price will vary already. So what I have shown you is from the rural, no, to the urban. Yan. Okay. So those products that are produced in the rural are now brought to the urban. Okay? Okay. All right. So, why are we studying all this?
Ma'am,
What do you
because
think? Oh, yes.
ano rin po ganun po, ma'am.
Oo.
We are studying this to to have knowledge kung ano yung nangyayari na po sa
Sino to ulit?
Pilipinas or dito within the locality. At
Sino to? Si?
ano rin po ganun po, ma'am.
Ano
Ano rin
yan?
po ganun po. Ano
Ha?
rin po ganun po.
Okay. Sorry. Okay. Thank you, Miss Fugan. Oo. So because it will impact our economy and it will also define how the economy is developed or growing or not. Okay. Okay. Here you see how the farming is done in other countries. You see, ano yata ito eh, parang strawberry. They have what you call here the rooftop farming. So from there, nakita yung building na to. So in this place, ano kasi pataasan yung kanilang building. So walang nasasayang na building sa yung place sa kanila. Kita niyo ito? Hi.
Yes po, ma'am.
Hi, ma'am. Yes. So dito sila nag-ano eh. If you notice the picture, I cannot enlarge it kasi I just captured it, the picture. Kung na-notice nyo, walang space na nababakante. No? Kahit yung akala mo building siya. Pero, meron silang tinatanim surrounding it. Okay? Aside from this floor, of course. Okay, ang tawag nila yan ay rooftop farm. See how creative they are. Unlike here in our country, in our place, kung minsan maraming extra, ano ba yun? Space. But people just do not like to farm. Or to plant anything. Just depend on what they buy. Okay? So these are the alternative ways that we can. So space is not a problem when one really wanted to raise or to plant. Okay? Meron pa silang tinatawag na truck farming. Tignan mo to? Kita nyo to? Yung nakagarahe lang, yung mga sasakyan na nakagarahe. Meron ba kayo nakitang ganyan? Can you see the picture?
Yes po, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, diba? You see how resourceful they are, ano? O kasi sa lugar na yan, maliit, wala silang more space for farming. Yung mga, instead na nag-accumulate ng pollution yung nakagrahe lang na sasakyan, old. Kasi kinonvert nilang, taniman, di ba? Mga ano lahat ito, mga ano to?
Parang celery man.
Celery ba? Ano ba yun? Yung fresh na kinakain?
Lettuce, ma'am, lettuce.
Oh, yeah,
Lettuce po.
yes. Oh, lettuce. Oh, you see how creative they are, no? Oh. Okay. So that's how people should be able to be resourceful, no, so that they can have their source of income as well. Okay. So with that, we proceed now to how important it is to know what is the structure. Okay, when we speak of agriculture. Okay, so we start first with in the Philippines. I know you heard about the agrarian reform. Pero ngayon hindi masyadong promote, no? Some people are not yet aware fully of this, but this is the method of owning a piece of land that was introduced by former President Marcos. Okay, and it was continued during the time of Corazon Aquino and until today. But as we observe, I don't know how active is still our agrarian reform. Okay, so this is a method of helping the farmers to own a piece of land for them to till. Okay, I know you know the process of owning a piece of land. So in our country, if you have been a tenant for 10 years, then through the agrarian reform program, you can be awarded that piece of land. Okay, for you to till and have your source of livelihood and income at the same time. Okay, can you follow me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes
Ah,
po, ma'am.
okay. So do
Yes.
you know, did you hear this already, or do you know someone who are a beneficiary of the agrarian reform in the
Yes po, ma'am.
Philippines? Okay, that's good.
Yes.
My parents is a beneficiary of this, okay, and they pass on to us. Okay, so agrarian structure is the way in which agricultural systems develop. So you see, it's not only happening in our country, but even in other countries. Okay, because this is a way by which the government can also help the the tenants. No, they will not be forever tenants, but there is a time for them to also become a landowner, okay, by the agrarian reform program. Okay, so these are the terms that you have to know when it comes to agrarian reform. Okay, so land tenure, it means who owns or controls the land. Okay, this is the landowner. And then communal tenure, usually it's a village. Okay, one village. Okay, sinabing communal. This is the practice during the olden times. Pero ngayon hindi na. Okay. Then this is happening in other countries. The latifundia. Ito yung mga big areas of lands that are used for business purposes. Okay. This one is freehold. We call that the outright ownership or awarding of the land, okay, to the owner, to the chosen ones. Okay, usually it's awarded to male in the community. So tenancy, I mentioned this a while ago to you, that you become a tenant, you are going to pay the landowner from the produce that you have. Okay. So how can agriculture become a source of employment, and that how can it impact the economic development of a country? Okay, so may I listen to John Paul? John Paul, cool. Wala na? Hello? Wala si John Paul Pulpul? Hello? Wala? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Oo, wala si John Paul. Okay.
Yes po,
What
ma'am.
about Joanne Leonardo? Joanne?
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, okay.
Yung sa nung unang panahon po kasi, ma'am, nagpo-produce po yung agriculture ng trabaho sa mga tao through pag nagbibinhi or pag nag-harvest. Pero ngayong time na po ngayon, parang ang limited na lang po yung trabahong na-offer sa mga magsasaka kasi
Why?
may mga patented machines na po gaya ng reaper, gano'n.
Yeah.
Unlike before na
Manual.
manual, mas madaming nasasahuran. Doon nakakatipid naman po siya sa owner. Pero it affects po yung mga nagtatrabaho. Ganun. Kasi wala na po silang na mahanap buhay, ganun po. Madaming naapektuhan kasi may mga farmers na nawalan ng trabaho ganun, ma'am.
Yeah.
Dahil sa advancement ng technology.
They may not be farmers, but they are laborers, right? They are laborers of the farm owners or of the tenants. Okay, that's correct. So the first benefit of agriculture, okay, how can it be able to offer employment is number one. O pag-ibasa mga Mr. Kulkul ulit.
Ma'am, excuse po.
Oh,
Si
yes.
Sir Jan
Yes.
po.
Oh.
Sir Jan Paul po. Kaya po wala sa ngayon kasi may board meeting daw po. So ma'am, kaka-start lang po.
Board meeting.
Yes, ma'am.
Bakit siya naka-in?
Yun lang po.
Nag-attend lang siya pero nag-attend din ng board meeting.
Pero kanina ma'am nag-raise daw po siya. Pero hindi daw po.
Okay. All right. So, okay lang. So, therefore, we have number one benefit is so there is accelerated output growth through technological, institutional, and price incentive changes designed to raise the productivity of small farmers. So with the introduction of technology or machinery in agriculture, okay, it will of course give a lot of benefit to the farmers and at the same time the community. Why? Because it is designed to be able to increase their productivity. Kasi imagine mo puro manual labor naman, di ba? So kung yung dating ginagawa ng 10 tao, I'm referring to planting, for example, or harvesting, through the use of technology and other machineries, that can only be done by one person using the technology. Well, it's true that you said that with the use of technology now, it was not beneficial for those laborers because they were not already hired by these farmers. But on the part of the farmers, it is beneficial for them because it can lessen their costs, no? Yung kanilang pagbayad ng wage. But of course, nandun din na accumulate din siya dun sa machinery. Okay? But if you get the average, mas mura pa rin, no? As compared to hiring a lot of laborers. Then second is rising domestic demand for agricultural output derived from an employment-oriented urban development strategy. Okay. That's right. Because so for them to be able to meet the demand of the urban, remember the picture I showed you earlier, diba? So it's also good for the farmers to make use of these technologies so that they can easily respond to the demand of the urban. I'm referring to large-scale production. And then third, diversified agricultural development and rural development activities that directly and indirectly support and are supported by the farming community. Okay. Although it says here that there is so much stress. Okay, that's on the part of the both, no, agricultural. I mean the farmers and at the same time the government. Okay, when it comes to rural development, as we said earlier, there should be a collaboration, no, between these two important groups. Okay, so these guide questions are useful for us to be able to see how beneficial agriculture is to the economy, especially on the rural areas. Okay, kindly read. Soriano Christie.
How can total agricultural output and productivity per capita be substantially increased in a manner that will directly benefit the average small farmers and the landless rural dwellers while providing a sufficient food surplus to support a growing urban industrial sector?
Yan. Okay, so this really is a great challenge that is faced by farmers. Okay, so what should be their strategy? Okay, next. Tabaw, Megan.
What is the process by which traditional low productivity peasant farmers are transformed into high productivity commercial enterprises?
That's right. Okay, process. Okay, when you speak of process, what could be the procedures? What machinery? Okay, what strategy? Okay, should be done so that it's a moving up from being traditional to becoming a commercial enterprise. The big landowners, okay, usually have this, okay, from just a subsistence economy to becoming now a source of income for them, as they also are able to produce more and that they can supply, what is needed by the economy. Next one is Christian Malnawa.
Ma'am,
Christian Malnawa. Can you read number 3?
When traditional family farmers and peasant cultivators resist change, is their behavior stubborn and irrational, or are they acting rationally within the context of their particular economic development?
Then, so it speaks of what? Attitude. Remember our first discussion, no? That the kind of people also are contributory to attaining uh, stability when it comes to the economy of a country. Because it's not easy to introduce change, no? Change sometimes is, we know that change is the only permanent thing in this world, but the moment you disrupt or introduce change from those traditional thinkers or traditional farmers, of course they will not immediately embrace it. Okay, they will just proceed to what they know, and with that it will also affect the plan for development if they do not like to cooperate, if they proceed with their stubbornness, sinabi nga dito, no, of the traditional farmers. Number 4, Aguinaldo Nanet. Oo nga eh. Sorry. Okay lang, sige lang. Yung attendance daw, ma'am, yung list of students na ma-excuse. Okay. Right. So we have now the fourth one is, are economic and price incentives sufficient to elicit output increases among peasant agriculturists, or are institutional and structural changes in rural farming systems also required? Okay. So these are the questions that need to be answered and reflected upon when one really wanted change or growth in the economy. And finally, is raising agricultural productivity sufficient to improve rural life, or must there be concomitant of farm employment creation, along with improvements in educational, medical, and other social services? What do we mean by all right? So when you say rural development, does that comprise also social services like education, medical, and even housing? Follows, no? Because when there is development rurally, when there is rural development, then that also will happen. Okay? Okay, let us continue. Pasensya na kayo ha sa mga patalastas ko. Ay, alas, ano ba ako? Okay. Ayan. So, can you give me your insight on this number 5? So, if there is sufficiency in agricultural productivity, okay, does this follow that there will also be improvement in other areas like education, medical, and even other social services like housing? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Oo. And so that will conclude now that will answer our question a while ago that agricultural productivity is contributory to the economic development of a country. No, of course, it starts from the rural going to the urban. Okay? Okay. So, any question? So, in my screen, you see here how agricultural employment is increasing. No, or here it decreased. No, how it also affected the GDP. No, this is arranged per country. Okay. Ayan. So it decreased. Okay. So if you notice the labor force in agriculture, so mas mataas sa atin, di ba? We belong to the East Asia. Okay. But you see our output. Ang dami nating mga laborers, agricultural laborers. But what happened? What is our contribution to the percentage gross domestic product of our country? Okay. 18 lang. Tayo ang highest dito sa sa dami ng labor force. Ibig sabihin marami ang walang trabaho, and they are hired as laborers in farming. Pero pag titinan mo yung average ng ng contribution ng output ng ating farmers in percent sa GDP ng Pilipinas, mababa lang. So what's the analogy here? Can you tell me? Whereas tinan mo sa tinan mo sa Africa, o mas mataas pa yung kanilang GDP. Okay, so any reaction? Bakit kaya mataas ang ating labor force sa agriculture, but when it comes to the contribution of the output to the GDP, hindi siya mababa siya as compared to other countries. Any reaction? I just would like to get your reactions. Malu Bakanay? Hello, Malu. Wala na si Malu. Okay. So, dyan lang makikita, right? That we have what? We have plenty of agricultural laborers, but not all of them are farm owners, right? So they are only hired as laborers. That is why we have also a lesser percentage to the GDP contribution of our farm output to the GDP. Kasi hindi lahat naman ng mga laborers na yan ay farm owners, and if ever they are, they only produce low because they are not big farm owners as compared to other places. Okay. So we have two kinds of agriculturing. We have the high efficient and inefficient. When they say that agricultural is efficient, when the developed countries are able to have what? High output. Okay, ganun lang yan. Per worker. It is inefficient is, of course, the other way around, no? It only can sustain what? The farmer. Okay, so we call that the subsistence level economy. Okay, hindi niya kayang support, or the production of the small farmers are only good for their subsistence. Okay, we call that there is low productivity, and because of that there is inefficiency. Okay, so this is how the farming in other countries is done. Nakita niyo itong picture ko? Do we have like this in the Philippines? So this is an example of industrial farming. The source really of income is farming, and because of that, it contributed so much in their economy. We call that highly efficient agricultural farming, or simply we call this industrial farming. So they grow their crops, making use of a technology, and at the same time, usually they test the soil, kung ano yung capacity ng soil, and what kind of product can be planted here. And you see ang acre, hindi lang po hektarya yung kanilang lupa, kundi acre of land. So that's how vast the area of their farming is. Unlike in our place. Okay, ito yung sa atin. Kita nyo? Hello? Connect ba kayo?
Yes,
Wala na
ma'am.
akong kausap.
Yes po, ma'am.
So, before we go there, sources of small-scale agricultural progress to technological change and innovation. Okay, meron ding role ang government, appropriate government economic policies, and supportive social institutions. If all these three, work hand in hand, then we can also achieve efficiency. Tingnan mo ito, ito yung picture natin, labor. Manual labor. I-compare mo naman dun sa una kanina, di ba? Ayan. So, we also have capital-intensive technique. Talagang, kaya yun ang reason, no? That our farmers could not also, maaring malaki ang kanilang tinatamnan din, no? But, they need a lot of capital investment. Yun. So, pupunta lagi sa kanilang input. Mas marami yung nagasto nila compared sa kanilang output, no? At kung meron man, o kalaban nila ang weather, ang kalamidad. So, that is a reality that's now happening to our farmers. Okay? O yan. So, yan ang itsura ng ating mga farmers dito. In which, talagang ang layo kapag ka rito. No? Okay. So, the conditions for general rural advancement is what? There's a need to modernize the form structure. Okay? Creating an effective supporting system and changing the rural environment to improve levels of living. So, mindset din, no? Okay. So, ito na yung sinabi ko sa kanina about land reform. Okay? Okay. So, this is happening to our country. Okay? But I know you are aware of what's the reality. Okay? So, we are now cleared out that through agrarian or through agricultural farming, or I mean through agriculture, it is contributory to attaining economic growth or economic development. Okay, and this is also one way of bridging the gap of our topic before on income inequality and solving the problem of unemployment. Okay. Alright, so here are just few slides. Okay. Okay, any question? Question, please. Wala? Wala kayong tanong? Okay. Did you understand our discussion? Okay. So for your share, I want you to give me your reflections. Ilagay nyo dito sa dito sa Nola, present si Nola. Nola, you are there?
Yes, ma'am. Wala po kasi yung signal namin dito, ma'am.
Saan ka ba?
Sa Batanes po.
Ay, sa Batanes. Oh. All right. So,
Yes, ma'am.
for your reaction in this chat box, okay, you kindly give your... Ay, tata.